What up, though? What's going on, people? What's going on, everybody? What's up? What up? What up? What up? It's been a minute since I've been live, man. It's hump day. Hump day. One time for the one time, man. Got to give a little bit of air horn. What's going on? Jay Issue in this thing. What up, though? Hey, Jay, what up? You changed your screen name. You was like Juice World. What up, though, Ryan? Checking in. What's going on, people, man? Y'all get a video thumbs up if you have not. Get a video thumbs up if you have not. My guy Will in this thing. Man, I ain't talked to you in a minute, Will. The Gamecocks. Back-to-back big-time wins, dog. Back-to-back big-time wins. I know y'all was going crazy down in Columbia. I know y'all was partying like crazy down there. Oh, shoot. I know y'all was partying like crazy down in Columbia after that Clemson win for sure. But I know y'all was partying after that Tennessee win, too. Gamecocks came up big, man. That was crazy. It's going to be a crazy offseason, I guess. Bowl season and then offseason, whatever. But what's going on, y'all, man? We got to talk about some couple things. Wiz Biz. What's good? What up, though? These playoff push. Let's talk about it. See, it went on to Clemson to give him a hard time. That's how you're supposed to do. You know, I was at home for the holiday. I was in Greenville for a couple of days. I got out of there to beat that game traffic, though. I didn't go to the game. I got out of there to beat that traffic. I had to get back down to Georgia, man. Yeah, I saw your post on Instagram. You going on the field, but we got a couple things to talk about, man. I got to talk about Baker. I'm gonna talk about Geno Smith a little bit, man, and just what Geno Smith means for quarterbacks and giving up on quarterbacks too early, and is how long should you give quarterbacks a chance before you know that you know? You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about OBJ. I gotta talk about Deion Sanders a little bit, what it means for college football and Power 5. I'll talk about it a little bit. I ain't gonna get too deep into it. I just said my piece. And then I got a team, man, that's down bad. The team that I would not want to trade places with, I got some comments on that too. So we got a couple things to talk about. And I got to debate college football versus the NFL. Got to debate it. It happens every year, and I gotta state my claim on this runoff. You know, it's a runoff between college football and NFL. Who's the heavy hitter? Regardless, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you have not. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. So Baker Mayfield, you guys know, y'all haven't been living on the rock. Baker Mayfield, I made a video about it. Baker Mayfield was released by the Carolina Panthers after finding out that he was going to be quarterback 3 on the depth chart. Baker, I don't blame him. He asked to be released. There's some other quarterbacks in the league that got injured, so there's opportunities to be picked up, whether it was the 49ers, whether it was the Ravens. Obviously, the Rams is who picked him up. There were some opportunities that arose. If I'm going to be quarterback 3, I don't blame him. Steve Wilkes, I think he's a big fan of Baker. He has a lot of respect for Baker. They have a lot of respect for each other. You know, it didn't seem like there was any hostility that came out of him being released. I think a lot of teammates liked him. A lot of teammates were shocked. DJ Moore even said that Baker Mayfield was upset. I would want my quarterback to be upset regardless of where. I would want anybody on my team to be upset. I want everybody to challenge for playing time. I want everybody to feel like they deserve to be that top guy. Competition brings out the best in everybody. Nevertheless, Baker Mayfield was the odd man out. We've seen P.J. Walker for an extended period of time get wins, play decent. And I think they always wanted to get a look at Sam. One, he's getting a hell of a lot of money. Sam Darnold was going to have to earn some of it. You know what I'm saying? Going through warm-ups, dapping people up, holding the clipboard and the snapback cap, getting paid $18 million. He was going to have to earn that money at some point. I think that came up from the higher-ups. I think Steve Wilkes had a role in it, obviously, because we haven't seen Sam. The O-line has improved. The running game has been going crazy. Defense has been balling. They want to get a look at Sam like that. There's upside there. Now, does this do anything for Sam Darnold's long-term prospects? Maybe for the league. I don't think it should do anything for the team. I don't see Sam. I don't see us giving Sam a competitive offer. I see us drafting the quarterback. I don't see us giving Sam Darnold a respectable offer to the point that he will return. I don't see them trying to outbid anybody for Sam Darnold. How much money does Sam get? $5-6 million a year? I just don't see them being a hot competitive market for Sam Darnold. So whether he plays good or not, I don't see Sam Darnold being a part of the long-term plan. I don't. I just don't. Because I just can't see Sam part of the future. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna go too deep on Sam if we're talking about Baker, but I just can't see Sam being a part of the long-term plans for this Carolina Panthers team. He's done enough damage. But I'm rooting for him right now. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold right now to pull through. I'm rooting for him to pull through and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? The division is still in reach. Even after the BS that the Saints pulled on Monday, they can't do nothing right. We needed them to win to help us out. I mean, we're full 2 games back now, but can't count on the Saints to do anything this year. But Baker Mayfield, the waiver wire, I guess is the term to use. Baker Mayfield was claimed on waivers by the Los Angeles Rams. They were reportedly, the only team to put in a waiver claim. That's not even reportedly. That's what the facts was. You get the NFL transactions. Nobody else put in the claim for Baker Mayfield except the Rams. Now, a lot of people may be questioning, okay, hey, what does this mean for Baker? That should be an indictment on Baker that nobody put in the claim. I guess. Because people were saying the same thing. Nobody wanted to trade for him except Carolina. So that should tell you a lot about Baker. The timing is everything, guys. Time is of the essence, man. Time is everything. You can't get time back. You can get money. You can get money back all day. You mess up some money, you blow some money, you can always get it back. But time, you can't get that back. They're not making any more of that. They're not. They're not making any more time. So the timing, late in the offseason, Deshaun Watson got traded pretty late. Baker Mayfield was the odd man. Now, the draft was about to come up. Once Baker didn't get dealt on draft night, the clock was ticking. Panthers play a hard ball. Cleveland finally caves. They had no leverage. They finally gave in, traded Baker. It was right before training camp. The timing was terrible. Everybody else had been there since spring. Baker came in right before training camp. 3-4 weeks, a little bit of preseason. Not to mention Matt Rule's silly behind got you splitting reps when you're really trying to cram for a test. So trying to cram for a test with, I'm not going to compare it, but Matt Rule blew it. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit more. I got another video probably going to talk about recapping Baker Mayfield's stint with the Panthers. Regardless, Matt Rule, the quarterback competition was trash. I went to camp. Not even close. It wasn't close. From what I saw, Baker Mayfield was way better. There was no reason why he should have been splitting the time. In my opinion, I'm not a coach. I don't get paid $9 million a year. Regardless, Matt Rule blew it, in my opinion. So, Baker didn't have a lot of time. The timing was just bad. Now, look at now. It's week 13, 14. There's only 18 weeks in the season. Week 13 now. It's only 18 weeks in the season. There's 5 games left. How much can Baker do? Quarterback is not a plug-and-play position. We tried that with Cam Newton last year. It didn't work. It's not a plug-and-play position, especially in season. These guys play on Thursday. This guy, Sean McVay, is talking about, we don't know. The decision's up in the air on Baker Mayfield. They're not playing him. They're just trying to have some gamesmanship. Regardless, timing is bad. This late in the season, who wants him? The 49ers, their system does so much stuff, so much motion. So much of it is timing. So many different handoffs and footwork with Kyle Shanahan. He has some experience, I guess, with Shanahan offense from the Browns, I think. Maybe or no. Maybe not. Regardless, it's too many intricacies. It's too many sophistication in that McVay offense to try to plug and play a guy like Baker Mayfield. It just didn't make sense. The Rams, Who else could have had one? The Ravens? No, they're not going to get Baker. They have their quarterback. There's a lot of different things that Baker doesn't fit their system. Baker can't run at all. Doesn't fit their system. There's not many teams out there that need a quarterback. At this late in the season, you either making a playoff push and you're going to just go with the guys on the roster, or you're just going to let the season be what it is and you're not going to try to win games. You're just chilling. What was the motivation for the Rams, though? Why did the Rams pick up Baker Mayfield? They've been rolling with Bryce Perkins and Alford, whatever, for the past couple of weeks. To me, they're not making a playoff push. They're trash. They're in the top 5 pick position right now. I think number 3. Here we go. Number 3 overall pick in the draft. They're trash this year. They traded their first round pick. I guess they got nothing to lose in the first round. F them picks, remember? They got nothing to lose. But to me, I just think it was pure motivation by Sean McVay's ego. Baker Mayfield's only $1.5 million, which is even crazier why nobody else putting the claim on him. Regardless, he's $1.5 million. Cooper Kupp's out. Matt Stafford's out. Sean McVay gets a starting level quarterback. And a lot of these young guys, these offensive play callers, these good coaches, these offensive geniuses, they have a big ego. Kyle Shanahan, ego. Sean Payton, ego. Sean McVay, ego. They just have so much confidence in their ability. So think about it. These dudes have ego because the only reason that a guy like think about Sean Payton. This dude hyped up Taysom Hill, calling him the next Steve Young. That's crazy. That's asinine. He doesn't get enough. Sean Payton does not get enough slander for calling Taysom Hill the next Steve Young. He doesn't. This man's name needs to be drugged through the mud. He doesn't get enough slander for calling him. But he had the ego to try to force this dude to try to play quarterback. He ain't it. His ego had him playing Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's not a great quarterback, but but Taysom Hill's not even a quarterback. It was that ego, man. The fact that he put that on wax, saying that Taysom Hill was going to be the next Steve Young, he was forcing himself to play him over Jameis. His ego saying Steve Young, Sean Payton's ego saying that Taysom Hill was going to be the next Steve Young is the reason why there was even a quarterback competition with Jameis. Sean McVay, ego. If he can get the best if he gets productivity out of Baker Mayfield by any means, it'll prove to the whole league that he's the baddest MF around, that he does this. He maximized Jared Goff, even though Jared Goff is actually a quality starting quarterback. But at the same time, they thought Jared was the weak link. They went and got Stafford. So these coaches have egos, man. He thinks that he's going to be able to turn water into wine. He thinks that in 4 or 5 weeks, he can get Baker Mayfield to starting caliber play and play quality football. I mean, Baker Mayfield was got to be excited for the opportunity. You want to talk about failing up? I don't even hate Baker, but he did not play good in Carolina. He failed up. I actually like Baker, but he failed up. It's funny how other quarterbacks don't get these type of opportunities. I'm talking about that guy number 1. Number 1, they used to play for Carolina. A lot of those quarterbacks don't get extra opportunities like that. But it's all ego, man. We'll see what he gets out of him. I don't expect a ton. I don't. I've been watching film on Baker all year. I've been showing you guys the all 22. You guys have, if you watched all my all 22 videos, you've seen every snap of Baker Mayfield this season. We'll see. I don't think it was a great fit in Carolina. Maybe it'll be a better fit. They do a lot of play action, a lot of different things in LA. Baker's a smart quarterback. You can add another system to it. What, 6? This is 6 coordinators or coaches in his 5 years, 7, something like that. I don't know what it is. This is number 6, right? He had a new one every year, so this is number 6. 6 offensive coordinators, 6 systems, and 5 seasons. This man might know the whole NFL. He may need to be a coach's damn self. He done seen every playbook. He done seen the West Coast. He done seen Sean McVay. He done seen a heavy running game in Cleveland. He done seen whatever former West Coast offense that Ben McAdoo's running in Carolina. Then he came out of a running shoot in Oklahoma. Now he's going to McVay. We'll see. D said the player's only as good as the system, and these coaches know it. That's facts. JT said no running game, no Cooper Kupp or Robinson. And playing on TNF after having 2 days of the playbook against the Surgeon Raiders. If you follow me on Twitter and you a betting man like me, I'm betting on the Raiders, dog. The Raiders are going to score. If they're not going to do anything, they're going to score. They've been scoring a lot lately. And I think, when does Hunter Renfrow come back? Renfrow come back this week? Or will it be next week? I mean, Devontae's still playing, but I think Renfrow will be back soon. Regardless, Baker Mayfield failed up, man. He failed up. I wish him the best. I hope Sean gets something out of him. I don't have high hopes, but it would be a good story. It would be a good story to see. It'd be funny. It would just be an indictment on coaching in general in Carolina if they get the most out of Baker. But I just don't think the system was fit for McAdoo. We could talk about that. I'll talk about that probably in another video tomorrow or Friday. But it just wasn't a fit. It wasn't. Nevertheless, I'll say it again. Regardless, it is what it is. But speaking of the quarterback position, since we got one of these guys on we're good about reclamation projects in Carolina. You know, we all about trying to give quarterbacks a second chance, second opportunity. Nah. It ain't his fault. It was the other guys. We all about the redemption in Carolina. We a rehab center for quarterbacks in Carolina. Now make sure y'all get a video thumbs up if you have not. Appreciate you tuning in. We the rehab center for quarterbacks, man. In Carolina, we're the rehab center. Because Baker, Sam, what is it? We're the rehab center. But let's talk about Geno Smith, man. Let's talk about Geno. You say you don't see why the Rams got? Yeah, dude. The Rams aren't going to the playoffs. They have a top 5 pick right now, and they don't even own that pick. So they're really just chilling. They're not in playoff contention. Cooper Kupp's out. Freaking Matthew Stafford is out. Some of these fake Twitter doctors are talking about career ending. Maybe Baker could put a small sample size together. It could be a backup going forward, or McVay can get the most out of him going forward. Maybe they want to look for that. I mean, he was only $1.5 million, but I don't understand the motivation for the Rams. I just told you it was ego. Sean McVay thinks he can get the best out of any quarterback. He won't prove it. He's going to prove it. That same type of cocky audacity that Matt Rule had, thinking that everything about Sam Darnold the past 4 years was a lie, and once he gets in our system and gets coached right with better players, he'll be better. That same ego that slapped Matt Rule in the face and probably got him fired, the same type of ego that Sean McVay has, except Sean McVay has a ring. Matt Rule is back in college right now. It's levels to this stuff. But these coaches, they have egos, man. They have egos. But so can't say that we were just drafted the quarterback at Matt. It's true. Stafford injury is spinal. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying his career might be in jeopardy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But Geno Smith. I want to talk about Geno Smith. Since the Panthers played Geno Smith this week, Geno Smith has been having a great year. Phenomenal, to say the least. Geno Smith has been having a phenomenal year thus far. Through 12 games, 3,100 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. This dude is not putting the ball in harm's way. A 64 QBR. I mean, he's been sacked a lot. That's for sure. But Geno Smith is hooping. Big time win last week against the Rams. Speaking of the devil. But was Geno Smith giving up on too quick in New York with the Jets? Was he? Was he giving up on too quick? Somebody say things gonna get ugly for us in Seattle. Why am I shit buffering? Hold on. Why am I shit buffering? Close some apps. What up, Magnum Co? But Geno Smith, did they give up on him in New York too quick? You know he came out of West Virginia, slinging that thing. A lot of passing yards, played with Tavon Austin. But Stedman Bailey. Geno Smith used to sling that thing at West Virginia, man. But did they give up on him too quick? Because people forget. I mean, a lot of fans are pretty young now in the NFL. I think there's a group like they don't remember all the way back to 2014, 2015. Everything changed for Geno Smith. He got sucker punched and got his jaw broke by a teammate. That year, they had really souped up the roster for him. They had Brandon Marshall. They had Eric Decker. Chris Ivory was a Pro Bowl running back then, if you remember Chris Ivory. Obviously, they had DeMario Davis on defense, Muhammad Wilkerson. They had Cromartie, Revis. The Jets had a squad. They went 10-6 that year. They had really souped up the roster before the season to get ready for. They had a young quarterback in Geno. They were going to roll with him. He got his jaw broke. Right? He was the guy that broke his jaw is not in the league anymore, but he was out for a while. Once he got that jaw broke, next thing you know, you guys know what this guy does. Fitzmagic came along, does what he does. He always gets that one good year out of Fitzmagic. Ended up coming in and played ridiculous. 31 touchdowns, 15 picks. The team went 10-6. I mean, Todd Bowles was the head coach. He had no connection to Geno like that. He had no reason to put Geno ahead. They had the roster ready to compete. And they had a good year, 10-6. So Geno was just on the bench. The next year, they try to roll with Fitzpatrick, like you always do. You find out that Fitzpatrick is only good for 1 year. You get that 1 year free trial period, then they're pulling the rug on you. Just like a discount on cable TV or internet. That first year is going to be cheap. You're going to get a good special. Everything's going to be perfect. Once that trial is up, it gets a little bit more expensive. You start realizing not as good as it was when you had it that first year. Bad business. Then they drafted Bryce Petty, and it was just downhill from there. Did a year in New York with the Giants. I think he was part of the whole Eli fiasco of Eli retiring and getting benched by McAdoo. So he caught a lot of heat there. It was a lot of back and forth if he should actually bench Manning. So he was caught up in that little whirlwind. Spent some time with the Chargers. He was a backup with the Seahawks for a while. Now that Russ is gone, he just happened to trip and fall into an opportunity, and he's taking full advantage of it. Now people are wondering why we got a 32-year-old quarterback that's playing like a top 10 quarterback. But we've never seen it. So a guy like giving up on and only getting an opportunity at 32 and hooping like this, he's smart. He doesn't turn the ball over. He can run. He's making some crazy throws. He can really sling the ball, dog. And yes, Pete Carroll took a lot of flack for rolling with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. They thought Baker was a done deal. That was the smartest move of the offseason, to not do that. The trade rumors for Baker Mayfield were there. I don't think Baker would have worked. Who knows? But they definitely would have got Geno Smith level of play out of Baker Mayfield. That move by Pete Carroll was very underrated. I have to give Pete credit for that. But where does it go from here? Because some people still aren't sold on Geno. You know, the Seahawks, they traded with the Broncos, so they're going to have a top 5 pick. Some people are saying they should still take a quarterback. Geno said they wrote him off, and I ain't right back. You said they wrote me off, and I ain't right back. Geno was balling. He's going to be a tough out for the Panthers this Sunday. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, Kenneth Walker, maybe if he's playing. We'll see. But Geno said they wrote off, and I ain't right back. But I got to give Pete credit. I'm curious about what the Panthers are going to do. I'll probably do a live stream on Sunday morning before the game. We could talk about it a little bit more in depth. Probably do a live stream before the game. Tim Estes, what up, though? Mango said, shout out to Spectrum. Said, if we win to Seattle, again, worry about is Tampa. I'd probably be more worried about Detroit, to be honest, just because they can score. They can run. They can throw. We're not really great against them balanced teams. Those balanced teams give us trouble. So they got 3 more years to figure out a quarterback now, thanks to Geno. Yeah, this year may be the opportunity, to be honest. Because think about it. The Broncos are going to fire Hackett. Maybe they'll get an offensive coach that can actually work with Russell Wilson. They have a good defense. I don't see the Broncos being down long term. So this probably be the year for the Seahawks to actually draft the quarterback. Because like I said, they have the Broncos pick for the next, couple years? But it's high this year. I don't see it being top 5 ever again. A loaded quarterback class, you'll be in reach for what? I don't know where the Broncos are at technically, but you'll be in reach for maybe a Stroud or a Levis. Who knows? Let me check Tankathon. Yeah, so right now the Seahawks would have a number 3 overall pick. So, yeah, I mean, Geno would definitely bought them more time to figure out the quarterback situation. He's 32. How many more years of good Geno can you get? That's a question that they have to determine. But I think the time is now for them to draft a quarterback regardless. Maybe get somebody that you can develop. Maybe you get a Levis. That way you don't have to rush him in there. Or a Stroud. That way you ain't got to start him day one. Because I don't see, like I said, they have the Broncos pick. I don't know what the Seahawks are going to do. I thought they were going to be the worst team in the league this year, personally. Regardless, if you think you're going to be competitive going forward, this is the year. This is the year to go ahead and draft the quarterback. I love Geno. He's my guy. I'm rooting for him. You know what I'm saying? The black quarterbacks, give him another chance. They're number 3 overall pick right now from the Broncos. I don't see the Broncos being down. Hackett will be gone. Russell Wilson will probably get a coach that works with him a little bit better. He's washed a little bit, but I still don't see them being top 5 bad for the length of Russ' contract. So this is the time for the Seahawks to grab the quarterback of their choice, being at number 3. I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see, but that's my prediction. I'm just taking notes for myself. Said Drake from UNC next year. Yeah. I mean, Drake May, Caleb Williams, of course. There's some dudes. There's definitely some dudes. Next year, but just never know what can happen. Just never know. All right, real quick. I just want to talk about Deion Sanders. So Deion, y'all know what happened. He left. Yeah, he left Jackson State, went to Colorado. Random to me. Colorado's such a random school. I think, yeah, you just want Power 5. I thought he would pick somewhere in the South. I thought he would wait for he could have went for Louisville maybe. I thought he would wait. I thought he maybe wait for Florida State, something else. He wanted Power 5. Power 5 opened up and came calling, offered the bag. At the end of the day, man, it's about the money. I thought it was going to be like some kind of renaissance of the HBCU, but it's about the money. It's always about the money. It's always about the money, man. It's always about the money. It's never not going to be about the money. It is what it is. Like I said, I just didn't think that he should have sold it as some kind of renaissance. That seemed weird, but Colorado is just random. However, people are saying that Deion did his part in Jackson State. He showed the blueprint. It's not a blueprint. It's not a blueprint. Nobody can a blueprint is something that you lay out plans that somebody can easily replicate themselves or do them or follow themselves. Nobody can do that. There's NFL talent in Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson is an HBCU coach. Eddie George, former Titans great running back, is a coach. You wouldn't have known. They've been a coach. They don't follow themselves around with a camera. Everybody don't got the clout and the privilege to be able to do that type of Deion stuff. So everybody don't get to get away with that type of stuff. So it's not some formula that can be replicated. That documentation that he does, that helps his brand. Expanding his brand helps with recruiting. Will anybody else be able to do that? I don't think so. I don't think anybody can do that and get away with it. But Deion is Deion, so people are going to let him do that. He's created this narrative about himself since day one. That's who he is. So people just let him get away with it because they're just saying that's Deion. If you sign up Deion for your job, this is the Deion you're going to get. I think that comes with, people understand that comes with the territory. So he can get away with a lot of stuff that other coaches can't get away. So there's not a blueprint there. The relationships, the recruiting. People want to come to the school just because of your name. There's not too many guys like that want to be in the coaching ranks. They have a personality like that. There's way easier jobs. If you have that much charisma and personality, you stay in the media. You can make that kind of millions being in the media and not have to spend all your time and still can play football and not have to deal with people. I just don't think it's not replicable. Shoot, we got to figure out if Deion can replicate what he did at Jackson in Colorado. Can he duplicate it? Can he follow the same blueprint on the Power 5 level? He talking about he laid the blueprint. Is there really a blueprint? Can he do the same blueprint on Power 5 level? We don't know that either. So I don't think it's just easy to plug and play anybody to be able to get that clout because, one, a lot of the talent that's worth it, they're probably transferring with him to Colorado. There'll be some good quality talent that are like marginal talent that Deion may not want to bring along because there's plenty of there's a crazy 1,000 players in the transfer portal right now. There's going to be a lot of talent moving around. So Deion, he don't even got to recruit from high school like that unless he wants to. He can recruit the transfer portal. It's so many 5 stars in the portal right now. He could just recruit the portal. He ain't got to recruit high school like that. He can recruit the portal. Off his name alone, the people are coming to him. They said 200 people have reached out to Colorado, 4- and 5-star athletes. I mean, it's unfortunate, the situation for Jackson, because I don't see them rekindling that same magic. He wasn't there long enough to make a lasting impact, in my opinion. I think they're just, and I understand both sides. I understand that's what coaching is. You recruit, you sell dreams, you do what you got to do, you find the best job that you like. Once you find your job you like, you chill. I get it. He's trying to climb that ladder. But we didn't know that was his ambitions so fast, just like any other quarterback. Coach. I mean, he did the 3-year Matt Rule plan. Double-digit win seasons. Move on to the next job. Temple, to Baylor, to the NFL. Now back to Nebraska. Getting close to what you were getting in the NFL. He did that Matt Rule 3-year plan, man. I mean, that's really what coaching is. Nothing wrong with it. We know the business. But it just seemed like he sold a dream and certain ambitions that he didn't fully fulfill. But I'm curious to see what happens at Colorado. I am curious. I'm curious. We'll see what happens. My internet is acting retarded right now. Speaking of college football, we got to talk about something, man. We have to talk about something that's been going up. I know there was an election runoff last night in Georgia. It was a 2-man race for the Senate, the last Senate seat that was up for grabs. So we got to debate something. I'm about to say something that may rub some people the wrong way. I'm about to say something that may rub some people the wrong way. But NFL football is way better than college football. Hear me out. The product on the field is just simply better, period. More polished, not stupid mistakes. These guys know their assignments. They're disciplined. They make tackles. The talent is spread pretty easy. It's just a good product. You get bigger plays. You get crazier catches all the time, more skill. The product is better quarterback play. The product is just better. I was watching that Pac-12 championship with USC, and these defenders, these guys just don't think. I know they're in college, they're amateurs, but if it's 1st and goal from the 10 and from the 11, why are you playing 10 yards off? Why are you playing 10 yards off? It doesn't, the football smarts and the instincts aren't there. And this is the number 4 team in the nation we talking about. A starting defensive back for the number 4 team in the nation. One of the best teams in the country. This is the best you can get. The product just isn't there for college football. And people are talking about, NFL, you can lose 4 or 5 games, still be okay. NCAA, 1 game is all that matters. Yeah, of course, yeah. Every week matters in college football. But every week, you're not playing a good team. Every week, you have more cupcakes than anything. The non-conference schedule is a joke. Even the SEC, some of these SEC teams are a joke. You don't play good competition. NFL, you can get knocked off any week. We saw the Lions, who are 4-1 over the last 5 games. We thought they were one of the worst teams in the league. They're getting hot. They almost beat the Bills on Thanksgiving, but they're 4-1 right now. The parity is ridiculous. The salary cap doesn't allow anybody to be lopsided on either way. Recruiting makes everything lopsided. There's no parity. The product on a week-to-week basis is more consistent and more exciting in the NFL just because there's a lot more. The talent gap is a lot smaller than the NCAA. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. Oh, you can lose 4 or 5 games in the NFL and be fine. I mean, yeah, you can lose 4 or 5 games and be all right because you will get knocked off. But like I said, NFL is better than just college. Like I said, it's a better product just in general. Bigger plays, one-hand catches, you get elite throws, elite quarterback play, which makes the world of a difference when it comes to watching football in general. The parity is everything. Like I said, 1 and 2 losses don't kill your season. So, yeah, I mean, the stakes are higher on a week-to-week basis in college football. But the talent gap is too big between Middle Tennessee State and Alabama for me to want to be excited about a homecoming game where somebody's going to get blown out 54-0 in the first half, and the JV is going to be in the second half. NFL, anybody can get it any given Sunday, any team get knocked off. But last but not least, for the NFL, in NCAA, the only exciting thing about the NCAA, the most exciting thing about the NCAA is the arguments. Arguing who deserves to be in for what during the playoff. And that's something that's handled by a panel. Before it was handled by a computer. There's a coaches poll who's going to have inherent bias. The NFL, you're always going to get the best teams in the league to make the playoffs. The best team may not always win the championship. That's why it's always fun. Because in the playoff, the most exciting part about it is arguing who deserves to be in the playoff. Because you're really just arguing who deserves to get smacked in the back of the head by Alabama or UGA. That's literally the only thing you're arguing about. But the arguments and the lead up to at the conference championship weekend and arguing about selection Sunday, if that's what you want to call it, that was the most exciting part about college. Does Alabama deserve to get in? Does Ohio State deserve to get in? TCU, whoever. That's more exciting than anything because these playoff matchups aren't going to be good. Georgia is going to win it all, guys. I hate to break it to you. Georgia's going to win it all. They are. They're just unmatched. They're going to have an Alabama-like stranglehold on the NCAA for the near future. If they're doing stuff like this with a guy like Stetson Bennett at quarterback, just wait till they start getting some 5-star quarterbacks. I mean, Kirby Smart has blown it before by having Justin Fields and playing Jake Fromm over him. However, Georgia's going to keep getting talent, man. So the NFL's more on coaching, NCAA is all on recruiting. Good point. Because that talent is everything. That talent is everything. It's everything. Recruiting is the work is done in the offseason. Yeah, and then the comments about an elite NCAA team. No. The technique, the level of discipline, the skill, let alone the size and the strength and the speed. You're crazy if you think that an NCAA team could beat a bad NFL team. So the Raiders getting hot too. Yeah, I mean, the Raiders had a lot of talent. They should have been better anyway. So the pressure to not lose one game is silly. Yeah. NFL been a better product, man. He said the punt formations are weird. Yeah, the elephant punts, the Aussie rules punt, the rugby punts. Choppy 71, what up, though? All right, but last but not least, man, I got to talk about something. I know it can be grim in the NFL sometimes. It can be grim. But you always got to think about it could be worse. Life is all about perspective, man. Life is all about perspective. It is. Because you think the Panthers, no quarterback. We need another edge rusher aside from Brian Burns. We need some receivers to upgrade talent. We need running back, quarterback, a good tight end that can catch and do something. Need some linebackers to re-up. We don't have a lot of salary cap space. It seems bad for the Panthers. But it's all about perspective because life could be worse. We are, 4-8? 4-8? We're 4 wins. There's another 4-win team that things are a lot more grim. They're not trying to make a playoff push. They aren't optimistic. And that is the New Orleans Saints. We got to talk about it because they just lost on Monday Night Football to Tom Brady. But miraculously, somehow the New Orleans Saints are at 4-9. Like if I would not want to trade franchise places with my team. Like if there was a transfer portal, I would not want to be part of the Saints. The New Orleans Saints, the state of the New Orleans Saints is just totally in turmoil. Miraculously, they're 4-9. But they got a first-year head coach who's terrible. Like, I don't even know how Dennis Allen has escaped so much slander thus far. Like, Matt Rule, people are arguing that he was the worst coach in the division. I would argue Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's a horrible head coach. People miraculously forgot his stint in New Orleans. In Oakland all those years back. He was trash. He's been a coordinator with Sean Payton for so long, and the defense has been coming and going with the Saints. I don't know how he's been dodging any kind of slander this year. But Dennis Allen is a horrible coach. Always was, still is now. Their real coach, Sean Payton, who just saw that the quarterback situation was trash, he dipped, did a little bit of commentary, analyst work, make some money there. Clearly wants to come back, doesn't want to come back to them. Like, how bad do the Saints have to be like I said, the Saints miraculously 4-9, not in the playoff hunt, seems pretty hopeless. Their head coach right now is trash. Like I said, I don't know how Dennis Allen has dodged so much slander this year, but he's trash because he's been trash. So he should not get a long leash now. Clearly, I just think he deserves more slander. The real coach, Sean Payton, doesn't want to play for them. He left just because things weren't looking all up and up. He retired. Urban Meyer style. When things aren't going your way, retired. Went to the analyst thing, doing that thing with Fox and whatnot. He wants to come back. He just don't want to come back to you. Like, how do you feel to be the New Orleans Saints? You got a coach under contract that retired, wants to come back. He just don't want to come back to you. He don't know how to tell it to you. You got a wide receiver that you paid $20 million a couple years ago that's probably played 5 snaps since then. Can't stay healthy. You're always in salary cap hell. I don't even really count that for them because they manipulate the cap every year and sign people and do whatever. They're always in salary cap hell. They made a couple trades in the first, so they don't have a first-round pick, even though it's going to be top 5. They traded to the Eagles. They picked up in a first, and then when they got back into the first round, they got Olave, who was a good pick. They ended up getting Trevor Penning, who's supposed to be the left tackle of the future because they let Teron Armstead go. So you traded your first-round pick and you don't have one in 2023. Then your left tackle that's supposed to help your O-line, he's just a rotational player at this point. You bring him in when you want to go heavy package as an extra tackle or tight end. You can't even play him. Like I said, you've been in salary cap hell, and your QB position is in hell. You're running back. You're waffling between the Red Rifle and Jameis Winston. What are you going to do next year? You don't have the money to go sign somebody, and you don't have the draft pick, the high draft pick, to get the prospect you want. They're in salary cap. They're in hell. They're in hell. They're in hell. So I would not want to be a Saints fan or part of that Saints organization, if you ask me. They're, like I said, they're in one of the most terrible situations. Dennis Allen was terrible with the Raiders. Correct. So the Broncos have it worse than the Saints? Nah. At least the Broncos have a good defense. The Saints' defense is average. They traded away C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So the Saints going to gas it up next year. They're going to have to. They're going to have to gas it up. So that's why they said Peyton said the Carolina job looked appealing. Yep. Yeah, the Saints going to have to gas up that tank next year. Another year, they're going to have to bring the brown paper bags back out. They're going to have to gas up that tank next year. So let's recap. The Saints are terrible right now. That's the bottom line. I love the misery of the New Orleans Saints. The state of the New Orleans Saints is just turmoil. And as a Panthers fan, I'm eating it all up. I love it. They need to be taken down a notch. Like I said, they had the same amount of wins as Carolina right now, but it's all about perspective. We're thinking about making a playoff push. They're just trying to get this year and next year over with. Their head coach is horrible. He was horrible with the Raiders. He's still horrible now. He should be getting more slander. He's officially the worst coach in the NFC South now that Matt Rule was gone. They were neck and neck, but now that Matt Rule is gone, Dennis Allen is the worst coach in the division. He's a terrible coach, one of the worst coaches in the league. The real coach, Sean Payton, he wants to be a Cowboys coach. He doesn't want to come back to you. He wants to coach. He just don't want to coach that situation. He left it in the first place because he saw the writing on the wall. He saw all this coming. He left y'all with this mess. He wants to be the Cowboys head coach. But he doesn't want to coach for y'all. Y'all have the rights to him. He wants to come back and be a coach, just not with y'all. He don't want y'all. $20 million receiver, hasn't played ever since then. Maybe 5 games since then. Still getting that bag. Shout out to him. Like I said, you traded your first round pick, made all these moves. You got Chris Olave, cool. But the left tackle you drafted, you don't even play him. He doesn't start. He's not good enough to start. He's been hurt. He's a rotational piece. You bring him in as an extra tackle. You didn't even throw him right back into action. He's just a rotational piece. Y'all been playing these voodoo games with the salary cap for years, but you're still in salary cap hell. You still got to make these tough decisions for nothing. You've been in salary cap hell. There's no reason to be all this do this magic now when you're not competing. When you're doing what you got to do to get under the salary cap, when you're competing, it's different. But now, you're really just doing that for survival. Keep your neck above water. Treading water. And like I said, your QB position is in hell right now. Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston are your answers right now. And you ain't got the money or the draft pick to get out of it because you traded that top 5 pick that you're going to have next year. You traded to the Eagles. You traded away C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So where do you go? Like they said, it's time for the Saints to gas it up next year. They're going to have to gas it up. They're going to have to gas it up next year, man. They're going to have to gas up that tank. Gas it up. That's not fun. They're going to have to bring them brown paper bags out. Bring those brown paper bags out again. So the Falcons have been overplaying their talent. Feels like the coaches, Arthur Smith, he's doing a good job. But think about it, though. He came from the Titans. What do we think about the Titans? The Titans do have Derrick Henry. Solid defense. Tannehill. But the Titans don't feel like an elite team, but they overachieve every year. Running the ball and trying to play defense, running the ball in general is going to help you out. But running the ball and playing some sort of defense, it's not flashy, but it's going to have you in every game. You're going to be close in every game if you can run the ball because you're controlling the clock. You're keeping your defense fresh. You're keeping their defense tired. You're controlling the tempo of the game. So it's less possessions. You're going to be in close games. You just play close games and see what happens in the fourth quarter. That's usually what happens. You may get a blowout every so often if you just play bad. But running the ball and playing good defense will keep you in close games. That's why I think the Panthers formula is okay right now, sustainable. They just got to keep running the ball. We'll see what Sam does if we can't run the ball, but it's going to have you in most games. Running the ball and playing defense is going to have you in most games. You just need a quarterback, some receivers that can make some plays for you. Preferably a running quarterback that can steal you some first downs. That's what Tannehill does. He runs when he needs to, makes a couple throws every so often, but they overachieve. They were the number 1 seed in the playoffs in the AFC next year. The Titans overachieve without Derrick Henry. They overachieve. They're 8-4? 7-5 right now? Overachieving. They're going to win that division again, most likely. Yeah, definitely. I'm tripping. I don't know what the Jags doing and the Colts trash. So the Panthers making the playoffs with the cutting back Baker will make you happy. Only time I rooted for the Saints was after the hurricane for sympathy. Facts. Am I doing all 22? We had a bye week last week. I'm not gonna do everything. I mean, I did the Sam Darnold. It'll be the Sam Darnold was the film for last week. So I don't know what we're gonna do at pick 6. We'll see. Probably be quarterback. It's quarterback or nothing for me. So our defense is better than the Titans too. I'll take our defense. What they got? Bud Dupree, Anthony Simmons up front. I do like Anthony Simmons. He's one of my favorite players. I still don't think Anthony Simmons gets the credit he deserves. But I like Anthony Simmons' game. I do like Anthony Simmons' game. But running the ball and playing defense is going to be, like I said, if the Panthers can continue to do that, the only team that's good against the run on the schedule that's left is the Steelers. So it seems like Levis will be the pick. Yeah, I mean, my little bit of inside information is that Levis is QB1 for the Panthers right now. Little birdie told me that Levis is QB1. They're saying that people, they're not even really counting this past year. They're throwing it out. His 2021 tape was so good when they had with Liam Cohn, the former quarterback coach for the Rams. He was in the NFL system in 2021. They liked it so much that the Panthers think Levis is QB1. They think he has the traits. They think he has the size. They think he's probably the safest pick to develop because he has that work ethic. He can run. He can throw. I mean, he has the tools and the check boxes for what you want in the quarterback in the NFL now. Strong arm, can run a little bit, good size. I personally like Bryce Young. Personally. So it reminds people of Josh Allen. Some people feel like he may be a little bit closer to Dak Prescott than Josh Allen. That's what they say. I love me some height. He reminds me of Mike Evans because of that size and speed. But I'm working on draft profiles now, guys. I'm relaunching my website. Coming soon. Relaunching my website. I'm diving headfirst into draft content. I got film access now to college players. So I got film now. Y'all know how I do my film breakdowns, how I get down. I'm going deep diving into different positions. Once I get a couple profiles under my belt, I'm going to start releasing stuff so I can have some stuff to drop on y'all. But by the time the season is over, I'm going full-fledged into draft content. I'm going to try my hardest to try to see if I can get to the Senior Bowl this year as a media member. So if we win the division, where we pick in the 20s? I think if we're in striking distance to maybe go for Anthony Richardson in the 20s. I think the 20s, I would say Richardson. I see Richardson, somebody taking a chance on him, but it's going to be a risky pick. Richardson and Matt Corral would be a interesting competition in camp. I still have to dive. I haven't dove into quarterbacks yet. I'm working my way down the list. I'm in the running backs first because we Panthers need a running back probably as well. I'm starting with running backs. I'll be getting on quarterbacks probably this weekend or later next week on the film. But I'm going to be doing draft profiles on players, guys. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys are too. Because I'm not really big into the draft like that usually, but I'm diving in this year now that I got the film. It's a long off season. I'm diving into the draft. That's what y'all love anyway. Y'all love draft content. I love season content. Penix is staying. Michael Penix is returning to school. He said it. He's returning to Washington. But like I said, I know y'all love draft content. I mean, I'm getting into it too. So, Wilkes and AR would be 250 rushing yards a game. Yeah, you remember all the Panthers had that streak of like 28 games in a row on the run when we had Cam. We're rushing for over 100 yards as the team. It was crazy. Do I think Wilkes will get the head coaching job? It's very interesting because Wilkes is what? 3-4, 3-3. Let me look at the record. Let me look at the record. Yeah, so Wilkes is 3-4. Wilkes is 3-4 since taking over. We got robbed against the Falcons. Wilkes is 3-4 since taking over. The team has clearly been playing better. We have an identity. It's not that flashy, but for now, we have an identity. He's got these players locked in. He's all business. We're winning home games. Like you said, 3-0 at home. We're winning home games. I think Matt Rule had lost like 9 straight home games. 9 out of the last 10 home games. After that Saints win was the first home game in a while. 9 out of 10 home games being lost. Steve Wilkes 3-0 at home. 3-4 overall. This is a big win this week on the road. He's going to have to do a couple things. He's going to need to do a couple things. Beating a playoff caliber team was a good start because outside of this week, this is the last pretty much playoff caliber team on the schedule. I mean, the Bucs, obviously, if they win a division, they're playoff caliber, but nobody else has a winning record except the Bucs. We already beat them. I mean, they're 500 right now. But this is a big win. I think going to Seattle after a bye week on the road finally can go a long way. I think there still needs to be results. I think we all feel that the team is better. But I just don't want to get caught up in the moment, right? I love Wilkes. I think he probably should get a shot. I think he deserves a shot. But I don't want to get caught up in the moment. I think we've seen bad coaching for so long. The past 2.5 years, we've seen terrible coaching that any level of competent coaching would have this team competitive. I just don't want to look at it through rose-colored glasses. I love Wilkes. He's Carolina through and through, Charlotte bred. This is a big game. Chad says it's pivotal. But this will go a long way. Remember when we went to Seattle in 2015? We won that game after the bye week. We got that monkey off our back. That was a big statement, a big turning point for that season that let me know that had me really believing that we had a chance to go all the way. It's funny that the stakes are super high right now for the Panthers as well, going to Seattle again, off a bye week. Only person that's really the same in this game is Pete Carroll. He remembers it. Nobody in the fans and us. But everybody else, maybe Shaq as well and J.J. Jansen, but nobody else. I just don't want to get caught up in, like I said, I don't want to get caught up in rose-colored glasses. We've seen terrible coaching so long that we see a competent coach. I don't want to fall in love. The same way that P.J. Walker was not playing trash, so he seemed a lot better. P.J. was playing solid, but not starting quarterback level. He played like a solid backup. P.J. added years to his career. But the fact that we've seen bad quarterback play for so long, between Sam and then whatever we had going on with Baker and McAdoo, seeing PJ sling the ball around, take shots, be aggressive, it was a breath of fresh air. Not saying that PJ's a long-term answer, but I don't want to overrate anything. There's plenty of time left on the schedule for him to prove himself. Let Steve prove himself. I feel like he's up for the challenge. I think he welcomes the challenge. I think he's proven that he's an NFL head coach, period. I mean, the lawsuit, we'll see what happens. But I just feel like competent coaching, which we weren't having with Matt Rule, it's amazing what can happen. So I think we match up pretty well with Seattle, but who knows? Yeah, we can run the ball. They got a solid defense that gets turnovers. Sam just has to not be usual Sam. Be risk averse. Be careful. Be careful. I think if Wilkes gets the job, I think Wilkes will hire a new staff. Defense will probably stay intact. He'll probably fill up those position groups, but I think he'll stick with Al Holcomb. But I think they get a new coach, offensive coordinator with McAdoo. King Jaffe Joe said, I never hit the chat section on your live, but you played me. I thought you were a Falcons fan. And I'm not a Falcons fan, man. I used to talk about the whole division. That's what it was. I dropped a lot of Falcons content. I live in Georgia, so I keep up with the Falcons. I don't root for them. I don't like the Falcons. But I listen to sports radio down here. I'm in Georgia, in Metro Atlanta. So I know, like, I hear all the stuff that happens. So it was easy for me to keep up with the Falcons at the same time without even trying. But Desmond Ridder, it should be. I don't think Ritter's gonna play until Arthur Smith feels like y'all can't win the division. I think he feels like Mariota is the best chance, unfortunately. I think he feels like Mariota is the best chance. For some reason. I don't know if it's because of the background with Mariota. I think he feels like Mariota's the best chance for them to win. So until I think y'all are out of mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, I don't see Ridder coming in unless there's a Mariota injury. Arthur Smith is hard-headed. I mean, he's a pretty good coach, solid coach. This quarterback decision is just mind-numbing. Not throwing the ball around the yard like y'all want is mind-numbing. But they play hard, play in close games. They're competitive, a lot more competitive than I expected them to be. Like I said, run the ball, trying to play defense is a formula. If you can run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, shorten the game, it's going to be closer. There's less possessions. Like I said, look at the Titans. They overachieve. But I think after the preseason Ridder had, a lot of fans are like, why isn't Ridder in the game? Because y'all need to at least know what y'all got. Because right now the Falcons are the number 10 pick in the draft. If y'all going to be picking top 10, there's a quarterback there, do you take him? I mean, they don't know. You don't know what you got in Ridder. Arthur Smith is just hard-headed, man. He's hard-headed, bro. I told you these coaches have an ego. These coaches have egos, man. They have egos. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping camping. I love me some Tabor too, man. I think they'd be willing to stay. Depending on the right coach. Yeah, I think McAdoo's gone. Said bearded Sam equals confident Sam. Hey, that beard getting thick. He said he gonna hold it. He gonna hold on to it. He said he gonna hold on to it until as long as we winning. He said still look a little sloppy. Yeah, I mean, if you watch my film breakdown, man, I talked about the missed opportunities. I talked about the missed opportunities. But yeah, man, if he plays turnover free, we're going to be in most games. He's just going to have to make a couple plays down the stretch. I think if he doesn't turn the ball over, we'll be fine. This is a high turnover forcing team in Seattle, so I'm very nervous about Sam. I think we can win the game, though, man. I feel good about it. I hate these 4 o'clock games because I'm drinking. I'm drinking heavy during the game. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm like drunk as a mug. And I got work tomorrow. I got work the next day. I'm not used to that. I got work the next day. And don't let us lose. I'll be mad and drunk. I hate 4:30 games. We're spoiled by these 1 o'clock games. Spoiled. Spoiled by them. Yeah, running the ball and controlling the clock, man, it's going to be everything. Try not to do everything we can to not let Sam have to throw. Like I said, they got 21 turnovers on the season in 12 games. It's over a turnover a game. It's almost 1.5. It's almost 1.5 turnovers a game. That's what they do. They got good corners, physical corners. Secondary is physical. You can run the ball on them. So Sam is frustrating because there are moments where he looks like the second coming to Andrew Luck and he throws a bonehead interception. Yeah, I'm telling you, Sam is not a part of my long-term plan for this team. Not a part of mine. I hope he's not a part of anybody else's. I'm all about Levis over Sam Darnold. People hate Levis, but I just want some new blood that's young, that's ours, that's not somebody's washed up hand-me-down that we can take our own and do something with them and develop them. That's just me. I'm going to root for whoever the guy is. So Baker playing what position next week? Quarterback, apparently. Quarterback, apparently, for the Rams. We'll see what happens. So you might worry about the secondary. I mean, yeah, we need to get some pressure, man. They got rookie tackles. We need Brian Burns to do work. O-line's been decent, but Brian Burns needs to do work. Needs to do work. 75 needs to play most of the game. That's things that we had never said in a while. He needs to play most of the game. Cam Irving said, "For me to help you in fantasy, man, my fantasy year is cooked. I lost Dallas Goedert. Then I just lost Hayden Hurst. I lost last week. I went against a guy that had the Browns defense and Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. Like, he put up 180 in full-point PPR league. I put up a cool 130. But, like, he put up 180. Like, there's no beating that. And this was like, I'm in a tiebreaker for 4th place right now. With 4 teams getting the playoffs, I got smacked. I'm not in last place. The last place punishment for my league has to go on a dinner date with a stuffed animal. And we are going to be there recording it. The last place person in my league has already secured that spot. But, yeah, I got cooked in fantasy, man. It's unfortunate. I was the champion last year. It's really my fault why I'm not making the playoffs. I'm not going to talk about why, but it's my fault. South Carolina quarterback, Spencer Rattler. I don't trust Rattler, man. I think Rattler should go back. Hopefully Rattler stays in school one more year. Rattler needs to stay in school one more year, in my opinion. He hasn't decided, though. Said Chet came in and decided in too. Ron Packer came in. Yeah, man. Shoot, we did some play action last week off of that. I like that. That was good by McAdoo. I think McAdoo actually likes Sam. I think he likes Matt Corral. But we'll see. Said Baker Mayfield was playing the bench. Corral's out of the boot. Because last I saw with him and Lane Kiffin, he was still in the boot. Did he post that on Instagram or something? I got to check. Is Matt Corral out of his boot? What is Matt Corral? Check his Instagram. Yep. Yeah, no boot for Matt unless he was just. Oh, these are old pictures. Yeah, Matt ain't posting nothing in a while. Oh yeah, Spencer ain't ready. Oh, he said CBS Sports reported it. Interesting. I haven't seen Matt Corral. Like I said, last picture I saw with him and Lane Kiffin. I wonder what be going on. I wonder what would happen if he was actually healthy. What if all day? We'll see. Yeah, Spencer ain't ready. He ain't ready, man. It's crazy how your draft stock can fall so far. Something like people talking about waiting on Drake May and all this. Y'all remember how high Spencer Rattler was of people draft boards? Then Caleb Williams came in and took his job and really changed his whole life. Caleb Williams really changed his whole life. What up, John? Yeah, man, it was nice to meet you, bro. Finally put a face to the name. Said I hope you put on 20 pounds. Yeah, me too. But we'll talk about everything a little bit more. I got another video probably dropping sometime this week, and then we're gonna live stream, preview the game on Sunday. So y'all stay tuned, man. I gotta get up off here. I'm hungry. Get some food. Need a sandwich or something. Y'all be easy, man. Love y'all, people. Peace.